Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle, and today I'm going to answer a viewer's request. And the request is, on a Mitchell 308, can I do a close-up of how to set the anti-reverse dog spring? Apparently they're having some issues with it. I found this crusty one. It was in one of the fishing reel lots I purchased recently. I'll certainly going to tune it up and take it on the water because I enjoy these types of reels a lot. But today we're going to use this one to answer that question. And when I do that, well, you're going to see how to take the reel apart completely. Maybe we'll do a little bit of cleaning up or tune up on this one, and then we'll learn how to do this one as well. Unfortunately, you got to take everything off of this reel to get to that anti-reverse dog and spring. So let's get started. We're going to start by removing the exterior pieces and parts. We'll start with the spool and the handle. And if you enjoy these kind of videos, I want to encourage you to subscribe to my channel. I cover all kinds of things and try to help everybody to learn how to service their reels and, well, how to give their reels a second chance when they break. And in this case, we're going to try and help Rich, who's the viewer, get an understanding of how to set that spring. Apparently he's tried a couple of times unsuccessfully, so we're going to kind of give you the inside out on that one. So what did I do? I've taken the spool and the handle off. I'm going to open up the gate. You can get an inside look here at what the reel looks like. But in order to get all of this stuff out, well, you need to take this rotor off and the axle shaft and everything else behind it. So there is a pin that is holding this axle shaft and crosswind block in place. It's a double-sided pin. You go remove that. Now you can pull up and out on the axle shaft. Then you can remove the crosswind block. And you can see this has got a lot of old dirt and debris on there. And I don't know how much time I want to spend in servicing this reel on the video. There are videos out there that I do have on that. This one specifically asks for a close-up on that anti-reverse dog and spring. And that's kind of how we're getting to it here. Alright, I'll clean that up anyway. It makes sense to clean the reel as we go. Alright, you can see that we have the main gear, the oscillation planetary drive system to it, all of that. But we can't get any of that out without removing the rotor. Sometimes people think that you need to pull this nut off and unscrew the rotor cup to do that. If you do that, well, that's one way to get it out. You may risk damaging the gears, and also this has got a crazy bearing in it that tends to throw off and cause a lot of problems. The real answer is to take the lock off from underneath the rotor. There is a screw here that's holding all of that in. It's covered by an awful lot of dirt here. We'll clean that dirt up in a little bit. You can see, I don't remember exactly where this one has been, but I do know that I got it from a flea market and I purchased a group of reels. My guess is it just accumulated a lot of dirt and debris and the like from that. Okay, you can probably see, we're going to try and do some close-ups here. There is a screw on the side plate here that is holding that rotor cup in. Some of them, depending on the model and the time that they were made, some of these screws are long screws and some of them are shorter screws. In this case, this is the longer screw. Notice on the back end of that there's a long pin after that screw gets inserted into the case. Once you remove that assembly, you should be able to pull the rotor right out. There you go. And this is what I was talking about before. If you had pulled the nut off of this pinion gear, that's going to release all these little bearings. These are free spooling bearings in here. It might be hard for you to see it, but they're in here. There's two cups with free riding bearings, and I can't tell you that I've never made that mistake. I have. That's how you learn, I guess, right? You learn that, well, there's some things maybe could be done differently. Let's just clean up the bottom of this. There's an awful lot of dirt and debris in this reel. And again, we're trying to get to showing you how to do the anti-reverse. So let's get going there. The oscillation gear that's part of the planetary system just fell out. We have a frame now that's going to hold that planetary gear. This one looks very much like the Mitchell 302. It's a bigger version of it, but the design is essentially the same. And well, you can see why this reel needs service when you next look at this part. And this part has got the main gear in it and a whole bunch of old grease here. I want to make sure that that anti-reverse dog is off. So we're going to flip that up so that the gear spins both ways. And when it does that, we can remove it. Now in this case, I've removed the handle already. Usually a Phillips head screwdriver can just assist you in pushing that out. So this is the first look then at this anti-reverse spring. And interestingly enough, this one's working and it's on backwards. Well, how did that ever happen? Okay. Well, this is what I call the bird beak system. And yes, it is on backwards. How do you like that? Using this for an example, and it's wrong. All right. I don't know. I guess it was kind of doing it under its own power here. Let's go with that, huh? Let me take a moment here just to clean this up so I can show you. I can see it, you can't. So let's clean this up a little bit so I can show you the wrong way it is, and then we'll show you the right way. Okay. Knocked it off, have the spring, have the dog. Now I'm just going to clean the case so we get a good example of how to do this for Rich. Well, while I'm doing that, if you have any questions on this particular reel or any reel, just leave them in the comment section. I do try to answer those. I try to answer them in the mornings. So if you're leaving a question in the evening, then I would just encourage you to be patient. I do try to answer all of them. It's getting kind of crazy now with the number of subscribers and the number of questions and comments I get, but I still try to keep up with it, and I thank you for that. Okay, here's our base. This is our base. This is that crazy little spring. It's easy enough to see why Rich has been losing these. You're going to notice there's a long tag on the one and a short tag with a right angle on the other. This one seats over this stud right here, and it seats. Let me just take a moment. I'm going to shut the camera off. I just want to clean this up so you get a better view of this. Okay, it seats over this stud here. The long tag shaft goes on this side of the post. So you're setting this up. Big fingers and small spaces. Let's go use the pliers to do this. This is the way it looks now. Again, they've asked for a close-up, so let's see if we can get this focused now. I hope that's in focus. Long tag on this side of the stud, wraps around the stud, right angle here. Next we want to set the dog. I call this the bird beak dog because it kind of looks like the old things that were the water weighted ones, right, where you just saw it always ducking down, right? Contrary to popular thought, that stud, that right-handed turn, does not go in what I'll call the bird's eye. It goes on the back end of the shaft here. What we're going to be doing to set this is we're going to hook the back end, pull this over, and then rotate it. So again, I'm trying to get this as a close-up. I'm going to see if we can't get that focused. we have the long tag over here, wraps around the stud, right hand angle here. To set this then, we take the bird, if you will. We're going to start it out in this position over here. Push over and rotate to lock that into the side. So I'm starting it almost like that. Now I'm going to rotate it. You can see that right hand angle is over here. It's going to lay on the shoulder. I'm going to probably not be able to do this in the camera frame, but I'm going to try and push down and rotate. I think I got it. I do have it. Okay, so that's it now. So the long stud, long arm here, angle over here, not in the eye. Now let's just, for a moment, turn this to the off position. Try and hold it so it doesn't shoot. We have tension now. When we come back to the on position, we have a spring-operated dog that rotates back and forth. To insert the main gear now, put it in the off position because you don't want to catch the back of the gear. Again, there's a lot of work that needs to be done on this reel. Let's take a moment here at least to clean the gear up so that we can show you how this operates. Okay, managed to clean this up. Here's your click ratchet. Remember, you're in the off position for that anti-reverse dog now. Again, I'm trying to keep this in focus so that Rich can see how it's set. I can't guarantee anything. A little bit of grease onto the shaft. Grease up the main gear. Use fishing wheel grease when you do your repairs and your service. Don't use anything but. Alright, it's in the off position. Bring your main gear in, insert it all the way down, and this is a good place for me generally to put the handle on. That way it stops the movement of the main gear in and out. This case has still got a lot of dirt on it. We'll clean that up for the sake of brevity. We're going to leave that as it is at the moment. And we're going to put the handle on now to hold it, so that we can go ahead and install the rest of this. Okay, next up, remember we didn't do anything with this other than clean the base. See if we can't get the rest of the grease out of here. A little bit of grease onto your gear. A little bit of oil into the bearings. Again, they're free running bearings in this one. And we should be able to just simply place this in again. And with that seated, go to your parts tray and get the tie down. That will hold your rotor in place. Again, it needs the micro screwdriver to get that reset. Now, Mitchell had a way of using these little screws. Some of them they use to hold bearings in place, like the 302 series and the like, and it was absolutely torturous to get some of those out. Some of them are impossible to get out. So just be careful, you don't want to break them. Grease onto the face of your planetary frame. That sets over the top there. Planetary gear, or oscillation gear. Bring that over the stud. Merge that with the frame. And what this does is it actually has an interesting rotation to it. It's not straight up and down in terms of the rotation of this gear, but rather it's an intermittent type of a up and down oscillation, which is supposedly improved for managing the line on the reel. A little bit of grease onto the crossline block. Set that over the stud. And to bring the axle into play. I got some exterior cleanup to do, but for the service of the reel, this is essentially it. And again, it's funny, you have to take the whole thing off to get to that dog. But in getting to that dog, you get to service the reel, right? All right. Line that up, find the two holes in the axle shaft, align those in the block. And you can bring the clip in. You can see how the reel works now. If we put the anti-reverse on, we should have a click and an anti-reverse, which we do. There you go. Cover back on. We'll give it a final test. We're going to do some cleaning again after the video's over. But to answer Rich's question on how to do it, I actually got to take a reel that was sitting around waiting for service, do some service on it, and get it back going again. Just needs a little more cleaning, a little more TLC. All right. Here we go. You can hear that click. It runs nice and smooth like they all do. Stop, stop, stop. Override, back pedal. Forward, click, click, click. That's it. That's how to set that pesky little anti-reverse dog spring and how to service a Mitchell 308. I hope you've enjoyed it. I got a little bit more cleaning up to do before I enjoy this reel, but in the meantime, I want to thank all of our first responders, our police, fire, safety, rescue, everybody involved in public service, keeping us out of harm's way and working for the general good of all. I do appreciate your efforts. Wow, good reel. All right, thank you for watching. I wish everybody a great day. This is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Wishing everybody success on the water, fun with friends, and a great weekend.